Hey guys, what's going on? Sorry, this week has been ridiculous for me. You don't even understand how ridiculous. Family man times 9,000. I've been so busy. Mea culpa, mea culpa. I just want to let you guys know I'm very sorry on the content drought this week. It's just been really hectic in real life here, but things are settling down a little bit, so the stream should be happening more regularly. Regularly. There were a couple sicknesses. We were a little worried. Apparently it's hard to get a corona test in my area. You know, it's supposed to be easy, but it's not. So there's been some alarms, some alerts, but everything seems to be back to normal here. So what's going on? You guys ready for another Inside Star Citizen? Still thinking about last week. Thinking about, like, I don't know. I'm not quite sure I like the wheel. The more I think about it, the more I'm not in favor of the wheel. And I wasn't very vocal about it on last episode. And I'm kind of wondering if the wheel is just too clunky, or what the wheel in itself is really, really designed for. Like, it almost makes me feel like consoles a little bit. And I felt like if they wanted to go the console route, then it would be fine on the Squadron 42. Like, I completely think that if they wanted to go with the wheel on Squadron 42 and they're gearing consoles for Squadron 42, I think that'd be okay. It's not anything that is going to be heavily dependent upon servers. It's a single player game with a storyline. If they wanted to go consoles and bring a little bit more money in that way, that seems like a better move to me. And then maybe that's why they're working on the wheel. I don't know. Speculation for the most part. But I was thinking about the wheel in itself, and I'm not quite sure I'm too happy with the wheel. I've had some time to let the wheel sink in. And the dude that was even presenting it on last Inside Star Citizen had like a wheel shirt. And I was just thinking about that as well. It was like kind of landing, like he did plan that. Kudos to him for planning that, but I'm not quite sure I like the wheel. What's going on, Cypher? Hey, Hammer. What's up, Jat? What's up, Killian? Speaks here. Pat's here. Twabbles. What's going on, Twabbles? Good to see you guys. Thanks for showing up today on the live show of the Inside Star Citizen Live. This is the intro where we just kind of talk about last week. And what do you guys think about the wheel in itself? Speakeasy says, I don't know about the wheel. Replacing button pressing in ships. What's going on, Killian? Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to replace it in entirety, if it's something that you're going to be able to click off. Speakeasy, if it was something that I could check off that I don't want the wheel. I'm a huge inventory guy, though. Like, I love inventory wheels in terms of organizing things, but I don't think that's what that wheel was showing me. Like, I don't think that's what that wheel was showing me. It looked like it was performing actions for the most part. I thought it was mainly inventory. I think I got confused last week when I was looking at it, and so like. I'm kind of against the wheel at the moment. Killian says Contra Corona. Thank you, Killian, dude. You don't know how rough it's been getting financially, so thank you, Killian, for that. I really appreciate you, man. This is my mug. I thought this was an appropriate mug. My daughter made this about 4 years ago. It's a skull. I don't know if I've ever shown this to you guys. It's a skull on one side. So metal. I love her. And on the other side, it says, I love Dad. I love Zoe. She's awesome. So on one side, a skull, great artist. On the other side, I love Dad. Can't beat that. K-Bomb, what's going on? K-Bomb says, I am interested in seeing SIG's inventory management. So am I. And in fact, I'm very interested in seeing the accountancy app. I'm so looking forward to wallet-to-wallet transactions. I don't know if you guys are as well, but personally for me, I really want those wallet-to-wallet transactions to get going already. It just seems like it's taking too long for me to get that working. What's going on, Boba? Good to see you, buddy. Cypher says, I like its easy to use functionality, or possibly add towards the experience in the sense of having to know all the emotes. Yeah, for emotes and stuff of that nature, Cypher, I get you, bro. I get you, man. It didn't look that easy in terms of like actions, though. Like for the actions, I don't even know if actions would be. For me, I don't think actions would be that effective to put on the wheel, because in some terms, to get out of bed took 3 choices. Like, just to get up out of bed took 3 choices on actions. For emotes and maybe for inventory, I'm hoping there's some type of inventory on that wheel. At closer inspection, I'm not quite sure the wheel even dealt with inventory. I could be wrong on that. What's up, Vegna? How you doing, dude? Good to see you, man. Good to see you here, Vegs. Let's see here. Never break that mug, says Pat. No, dude, I will not. My daughter would kill me. By the way, if you guys like the show, please press like. I've been on hiatus for over a week because of this corona. So like it has been a good solid week since I've actually been streaming, and I do apologize for that. Things should be clearing up soon, hopefully. So it's nice to be back, guys. It's nice to be here with you guys chilling out. I think with community feedback, it could be something. I think so too. I just hope it's an option that for people that aren't into the wheel, as far as actions are concerned, I hope it's something in the option screen that can be clickable. Like you can say, I don't want the inventory wheel, because personally, or the wheel in itself, if it dealt with just inventory, I'd be much happier personally, because I'm a huge inventory guy. Like I love to put things in bags and walk around with them all over the place. I want organization. I'm super organization dude when it comes to that. So if the wheel helps with that, I'll be fine. And then if I can disable it for other things, I'll be fine with that as well. I think that should be an option, and I think they're very workable. I think SIG is very workable with what the community wants. We're going to have a bonus content after the Inside Star Citizen review. We're going to talk about space whales. We did a poll here, so stick around, because at the very end of this, after Inside Star Citizen review, we're going to talk about space whales. We did a really interesting poll that's quite eye-opening. K-Bomb says, I like the wheel. They didn't go the lazy route. They integrated the hotkey. Yeah, I'm happy they got the hotkeys integrated into it, K-Bomb. So that is something positive for the wheel. And the ability to rebind the wheel as you see fit. Also, the favorite function was really cool. So K-Bomb's like a little bit more in favor of the wheel. He does bring up good points about the wheel. Ship actions make sense, say Jat. Okay. Not sure there will be any other way to organize all the actions SIG is trying to implement. Yeah, as far as like being able to bind an action, I think you're gonna have like some very basic like F function binding on that wheel. Like if I have to do like 3 steps to get to F, I would be upset. I would be very upset. So hopefully I can just bind it to an F and be done with it. If I have 3 steps to get through the wheel to get out of bed, which I saw on after reviewing it again and watching it again and seeing that there were 3 steps to get out of bed, I'm like, we're gonna have to refine this a little bit. I did like the cargo redo. Yes, we talked about that last week in Cypher. We talked about the warehouse and how we'd actually like these things to be secure. Like planet side, like there needs to be some gameplay planet side where it is risky on the planet. Do you guys agree with that or not? As far as I'm concerned, where things are stored like warehouses, it would be very cool in a GTA 5 kind of style if you could go over and you could gank some of the goods in the warehouse. I would totally dig that kind of gameplay. If there were areas that were a little bit more risky than others, so that you can go after these things if you're a pirate, so that you can actually bring about like security members to guard your warehouse, creating jobs, like I think that would be pretty cool. I think that would be pretty cool if the planet itself had hot zones that like inventory and assets had to be placed in. That would make a lot of people upset. Look, I don't want to have the chance of my stuff getting stolen. You hear a lot of that. Rising Phoenix, what's up? He says, I look forward to wallet myself, but I don't think it will be simple. I think it will be better. Says, I don't think it would be too hard to code in. Rising Phoenix. I don't think wallet-to-wallet transactions would be too hard to code in at all. So I'm really looking forward to the wallet-to-wallet transactions in the accountancy app, the area on our Moby Glass that has been dead forever. I would like to see that awaken, and I would like us to be able to do that already. I think that's something that should have been implemented a long time ago. I would really like to see that gameplay. I think it would add a lot more immersion for many of us, especially those in the industrial trades. And those that want to like make their own contracts with other humans. I want to see the cap start being raised again. I didn't hear any follow-up on what happened with the 60-player cap. Like nobody told us like, okay, here are the results of like raising the player level by 10 to 60. Apparently that kind of went hush hush. So I'm not quite sure. I don't have the information on that. Maybe somebody did say something about that, but I would like to see that information if at all possible. And I would like them to start like focusing on bringing up the amount of players in the server as well. Yeah, I would love to have to see like crime areas, like hot areas on a planet Cypher. Boba says, loving this time indoors. for all of us introverts and people that dig gaming, this isn't that big of a deal for us right now. Unfortunately, I would like to extend my condolences out to my friend Chips, whose grandfather did pass away. So I send out my sympathies, bro. His grandfather was old, but that's a very sad thing, and I just wanted to send that out there to you, buddy, because I know that he's been taking care of his grandfather for quite some time, and I heard the news 2 days ago, and I just want to extend out my condolences to you, Chips. So I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Those two were like that, so that was pretty sad to hear. But anyway. I think we should get ready with the Inside Star Citizen. I just want to talk a little bit about the wheel from last show. And I really think that the wheel in itself needs to have like options in the escape menu and in the options menu, like where you can disable certain features of the wheel. So I think the wheel could be good in inventory situations. I think it could be clunky in terms of functionality with actions, and except for ship actions. I will exclude some ship actions, but when it comes to like personal actions, I'm not quite sure that the wheel will give me what I'm looking for in terms of effectiveness and dependability, especially first-person shooter-wise. I think the wheel might be a little clunky for that type of gameplay. That is my opinion on the wheel. And so it is written, and so we have spun the wheel. By the way, congratulations to our Cutlass Red winner. I will be putting out a giveaway video either this weekend or next week. Our Cutlass Red winner was Pop My Delta, and congratulations to Boba, who's in chat, who won his Mustang Alpha. I transferred over PayPal to you, my friend. And Uncle Gary, that we're still trying to get a hold of for the Amazon gift card. Uncle Gary, where are you, dude? You won your 20-pound gift card from Amazon. I know people are really needing that right now. So congratulations to our winners. Really, really happy to see you guys win those things. And I think it's ready. I think it's ready right now. I'm smelling readiness. Hold on one second. Tea is so simple and delicious right now. I'm going to real health mode right now. Real health mode with everybody sick around me. You don't even understand the war zone I've been in. All right. I think it's a perfect time to relax with my bros and my sisses over here. Let's get the Inside Star Citizen review on the road. All right, we are back with another Inside Star Citizen review. This is the last episode for the winter season, guys. We're moving into spring. Let's be happy. We're moving into that sunshiny spring. In 3 weeks, they're taking a 3-week hiatus, which is pretty well timed, if you ask me, for this whole Corona crap that's going on in the world today. So I'm really excited to be here. We got the fam live right now. I'm really happy to see everybody just chilling out, having a good time. If you missed the intros, if you missed before the Inside Star Citizen, we talk about things from last episode. We were talking about the wheel. You guys are going to want to check that out. We had a great discussion. We also got a bonus feature here where we're going to talk about, oh, thank you, Killian, again. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I can buy some toilet paper. Thank you, Killian, so much, dude. Like I was saying, we do have a bonus feature at the very end of this show where we're going to go over a poll here by our community. Over 400 people voted. It was a hot topic, space whales. We're going to talk about it at the very end of this. And so stay seated. Let's get ready for some Inside Star Citizen review and see what we're looking at this week. New Babbage. Oh, you guys know I'm really hot for new Babbage right now. I'm really hot for new Babbage.
Laser pointers, stabilizers, and holographic scopes. More than just the pistol or rifle you choose, attachments are the way in which players can add additional customization options to their FPS weapon of choice. And recently, the Actor Feature team has improved the way in which you can manage these prerogatives of yours through the use of a new 3D interface built using our building blocks tech.
Oh, you know I love those attachments. You know I love the weaponry. I love the weaponry.
It gives new life to the phrase, there are many weapons like it, but this one is yours.
So
Oh,
we've got
getting
a new feature
attached.
coming to 3.9, and that is the weapon attachment UI, along with a couple of new bearing optics attachments as well. So to use the UI, you can go into a new customized interaction on the weapon.
Thank you,
enter this,
Arniki.
you should be presented with this, so you get a inspect style view of your weapon, and you can see all of the attachment points on here as well. So you've got your optics slot.
Okay, what are your guys' favorite weapons in chat? And those that didn't make it live, put it in the comments down below. I want to know what your favorite weapon is right now. Put it down there.
Your underbarrel
Also,
slot.
I love the suppressors. I love the suppressors when they are added. The field lights, the laser lights, the sights are getting better. So I'm digging what I'm seeing on the attachment side. I'm really digging it. Some of the effects need to be a little bit louder, in my opinion. Just something I'm throwing out there.
In your barrel slot as well. So if we just go into the underbarrel slot here.
What's up, Fox and Chris? Welcome to the stream, dude. Hey, Mark.
Line drawing your eye to where the attachment's going to attach to, and then if you start mousing over the attachments, they will draw in as like a hologram preview for you to look at. It's worth noting as well that what you are seeing right here is work in progress, so a few things will change for 3.9, like we'll have some individual icons for each attachment here.
That's pretty tight. I'm digging that, man. Man, that's got good vibes on that. That almost kind of looks very cyberpunk in that still right there. I'm almost feeling cyberpunk in that still right there. Oh, let's see what people are saying. Mark says the Galag energy rifle. Snow Fox likes any type of shotty. I'm a shotty guy myself. Cypher says the P4AR. You know what? P4AR, very effective, very, very nice weapon. Dig your choice, Cypher. Any sniper rifle, says Jay Calvin. I'm curious which one, man. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, very crisis looking as well, Killian. Yeah, totally, dude, totally. P4 and P8 says Pat. Yes, look, I like to see this.
Yeah, so you'll be able to tell what each attachment is before you even mouse over them, which will be nice. And you may see a couple of bugs with the bearing scopes, but they will be all ironed out for release, I'm sure. So as soon as you click on one of these, it loads onto the weapon, so no need to edit your weapon attachments in the mobiGlass. You can actually physically interact with your weapon and get them in there instead now. So yeah, we can do this with the barrel attachments as well. So again, yeah, we get all of the previews, so you can see which is which, kind of how big they are.
That's kind of cool. It's giving you like physical aesthetic look, man. It's Luke saying P8 all day long song.
On the weapon, what they look like. So if we just
we're still seeing the weapons listed in live chat.
And then if we go and look at the scopes,
I love it.
We've got all of our MV-TAC scopes which are already in game, and then we've got a couple of the bearing ones. So here's the 1x holographic, the 2x holographic, 3x holographic, and the reflex scope as well. So if I just aim down sight with this, you can kind of get an idea for what the reticle looks like. I'll just use one of the holographic ones so you can see one of the slightly more complex ones as well.
Personally, not effective 3x scope. Don't use a 3x on a pistol, guys. Like a 1 or a 2x enough, honestly. Like 3, you don't have a lot of range with a pistol, number 1. So I don't even know why they're showing that one there.
This one here. Obviously, these are work in progress, so we're still working through some of these, but yeah, there we go. I'll show you what this looks like.
If you're using a pistol that far away, you're using the wrong gun. That's my opinion. If you're using a pistol with the 3x scope on there, you're using the wrong gun. But I really want to see its face close up. No. Switch guns, son. Switch guns.
Rifle as well. So if we go into the customize mode, we can add an underbarrel attachment. Our barrel attachments are all here. And you can see every time we click on one of these, it puts it in nice view so you can see what's going on. And here's one of the, I think this is the bearing ×4 size 2 scope as well.
I really like this interface. Now this is a nice interface. I'm digging this interface over the wheel right now. Just so you know, like the ease of use of this interface, I'm digging this. I am really digging this. And do we have a gun range yet? Where's our gun range? Can we have a gun range somewhere? Like really, like can we add it to our personal hangar area? Is this something I'm not aware of, that we have a gun range that we can get to? Because I would definitely like a gun range. Maybe I'm not aware of it. Maybe I don't know it yet. Maybe I'm noob right now. But do we have access to a gun range? Somebody let me know in the live chat. Because if we do not, I definitely want the gun range attached next to my hangar. Like I want the gun range in one of my hangars. Please. because I need it. I need this. Listen to me. Are you listening to me, Sig? I need a gun range.
So at the moment, this has basically just been all built in building blocks. So this has all been done by designers and coders currently, with a little bit of support from UI as well. So it's due a full UI art pass to properly unify it with the full star citizen menus that we've got in game at the moment. So like the new pit wheel that we've got and everything. So we're still due that at the moment. We'd also like to change these to actually have...
Thanks, guys. Guys in chat confirming that we do not have a gun range yet. Come on, Cloud Imperium.
3.9. We also want to fully unify the customize mode with the inspect mode. So as you can see, the pose is very similar in the inspect mode. You can also move the weapon around yourself and take a look at everything. Eventually, we would like to have all of the interaction points on here.
Yeah, that's right. Calvin's saying that we used to have the hangar with the gun ranges, but they took it out when 2.0 went live. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
On and interact with in the same way that you just saw in the interaction mode, but actually have the two modes unified here instead. We would also eventually, down the line, and it's probably one of the last things that we'll do, is every time you swap one of these attachments over, rather than it just disappearing and appearing on the weapons, we'll take away the old attachment and put it in our bag, and then put the new one on top as well. So yeah, that's what we've got coming for 3.9, and what's coming in the future as well.
As we wrap up this quarterly season of Inside Stuff...
All right, so what do we learn there? What do we learn, everyone, there? We want a gun range. Can somebody post this and get this information out there? We definitely do. You know, I was testing out some weapons about 2 weeks ago. I had a different array of weaponry I was testing out on Yala, and then I thought to myself, like, wait a second. What's going on here? I need access to a gun range. So that's what we learned here today, ladies and gentlemen. On so far, so good. Get the message out there. Gun range, yo. Gun range for us weapon aficionados that like the weaponry, that like the FPS action. Let's get those gun ranges, Cloud Imperium. Let's do it. Now that you're sitting at home, you know, you got some time. Give us the gun ranges, man. Give us the gun ranges. Luke says, I'm with you, DG. Where is our gun range?
Star Citizen, we couldn't leave without exploring one of Alpha 3.9's biggest new additions, the high-tech wonderland known as New Babbage. So we give a call out to Frederick and UC, the principal level designer and senior environment artist who led the team to create our newest LZ, and have them discuss what sets this oasis among the snow and ice apart from every landing zone before it.
Okay, Fred, you want to have a nice conversation about New Babbage?
Yeah, man. Let's talk.
Alright, this spaceport. Welcome to New Babbage.
Yeah. Welcome to Microtech's capital. I really like the spaceport. I like what we did here. The decision, I think, to move it outside the city was a good decision, just so players...
Nice. Everything looks sleek. Everything looks nice and sleek. I'm digging it. And I like the way that they're introducing this. Like, I like the format right here. I'm really digging the format.
Have an easier time finding it, first of all, and also landing there because there's no structures near it.
Yeah, it's good focus, just letting you in quick, and then once you're in, this atrium puts you right in touch with where you're going. So we have transit running out into the city, like a design that whatever's going on outside, you're going to be well aware of that when you're in the space.
Man, I'm so excited for this.
And the same with transit. I think it's very nice.
There was a nice, easy transit system map. Lorville is a freaking mess. Like, if you're a noob playing Star Citizen, you're trying to find your way around Lorville with the transit system of Lorville, you're having a hard time. But I think that goes with the lore of Lorville. Haha. Now with New Babbage, nice and clean. Just, it looked like a loop. It goes down, we're done.
A lot of windows and a lot of open spaces. You're gonna travel.
We call it micro douche, says Mark. Oh, pulling out the micro douche back from the Citizen Con
you
days.
Feel connected to the exterior, and it looks beautiful. And you're right, of course, there's still quite a few meters, to cover, but it also goes very fast.
Look at that.
This is a high-tech location. We could build this really high-tech
look at that.
Goes at very high speeds, and you can get
interest peaked
quickly and easily because the transit system, the network is fairly simple and easy to navigate.
I think the commons are so successful in making you feel like it's a space where people just hang out.
They doing yoga?
They want between,
what?
On their lunch breaks or before work.
Yeah, I love the
Okay,
NPCs
this is
running around and doing
very passenger-like. You guys remember the movie The Passenger? Like that feels very passenger-like. I'm digging the vibes, man. This is great. This is wonderful.
exercises. It's very.
Oh, I loved it, Slump. I saw the poster in Discord, buddy.
Vibe. There are these healthy places where players can pick up, food and beverages to regenerate.
Yeah, we went for that with the design, like get you what you need. Do you want to run? Go. Do you want a yoga? Go. Do you want a sandwich? Like it's all there, like in a hub.
They totally went micro douche with this. We called it at CitizenCon last October. We were calling it micro douche because one of the developers had said something that looked very douchey. So we said, hey, this looks like we should call this micro douche. And in fact, they followed through on the design just like we expected they would. I like it though. It goes with it's got a whole vibe of its own, different from other biome areas.
Kind of in contrast to the plaza, which we see is a lot more like a focus on the business, focus on what's actually important. Like this is where they make their money, and it's a lot more like you can tell that it's commercial, tech and commercial.
Yep.
Yeah, it still has some of these Silicon Valley startup elements to it, but yeah, it's definitely all about business. And this is where players can find, the offices they want to get to, the shops where you can buy.
I mean, if you think about it, this is home of like what would be equivalent to Apple, because they created the Moby Glass.
Chip components, chip weapons, mining equipment, and all that stuff.
Yeah, I've tried to reflect that as well in the art. Like it's very
micro douche confirmed.
You could say. It's like you can tell
it looks great. The design does look great.
Yeah, and then when you transition out, like when you have
my god,
comments, there was a promenade.
Look at that.
The sky
I like the
bridge
music they mixed in here. This is great.
Things. You feel like this space that you now arrive at.
Yes.
You through transit and you sort of come up into this bubble, like this dome, right? But the sky bridge puts you right out there, and like if there's a storm outside, if there's night, if there's anything going on out there, we're not letting you forget about that part of it on the journey to the promenade.
Yeah, unlike
the climbing wall.
I mean, that's not so serious. That's all about having a good time, all about nightlife, entertainment.
Yeah, and
oh my god!
The art sort of reflects that.
Everything I'm seeing, it's just going to get better and better, isn't it? This is the thing about the design that we're seeing here. The farther on we're going here, it seems like the cooler the designs end up being. Every new place ends up looking better than the last place. They take everything that they've learned and they apply it to the new place that I cannot wait to see Pyro 2020 or bust. You understand me, Cloud Imperium? We want to see Pyro by 2020. No sandworm this year.
That as well. Like there's structure, but the promenade is like the creative let your hair down space for
look at that.
Both the people of New Babbage. But I think that's also how we felt about it when we made it. A bit more
this
relaxed.
This is fantastic.
A bit more relaxed, a bit more crazy. I mean, just look at all these lasers shooting and
this is
rain,
fantastic.
And I mean,
can't wait to see that at night.
Really,
everything they show is always during the daytime. I want a nighttime show.
At a field day,
Yeah, but I think it's important, like when you look at Microtech, which is like, you go outside and there's going to be a blizzard, you can see 2 meters in front of you if you're lucky, and then it's important to have this space as well, like a contrast to that. You're coming in here and there's like palm trees, giant ice sculpture, waterfalls. That contrast is just so cool for me.
Yeah, it's definitely cool to see these really hostile environments on the outside, and you're inside one of those giant domes having a drink at Wally's with your friends. I think that's a quite cool experience.
And then you have like this Ground is kind of the contrast to that, where like all of the designs are very, like they're very elegant, but they're not spectacular. Like they're very, civilian and classic. And that's
Here's
a
the
very
trick.
Nice contrast.
Here's the trick with anything planet side when it comes to actually feeling the real. They have to make sure that they're implementing. Now we're just in the design phase, but the next layering would be the economy, would be the jobs, the reason for people to actually walk around, to use these spaces. Now we know that food is going to be used for survivor based mechanics. So you're going to see people eat now. So, you're going to see a level of people needing to go to some of these food areas to buy food. So that's great. There needs to be another layer as well, so people can walk around and feel like this place is real. They need to have like real movement in certain areas as well. Like every time you walk around, I don't know if this breaks immersion for you guys, but like when you're walking around different places, Area 18, anywhere around the verse, and you start seeing like players just running past you and all herky-jerky movement. Like, something needs to happen in regards to that. But before I even worry about that, I think that there has to be the need for some additional layering of the economy, you know, for people to just like sit and chill and want to sit in places like these, you know, like we know they need the food, but reason for sitting, rough day, you know, you had a long day at your virtual work on Microtech. Okay, in New Babbage, great. Sit down, get a meal, and maybe other people will start sitting down, talking to other people. VoIP needs to be perfected to like 100%. Like 100% VoIP needs to be perfected so that you can actually talk with people when you're just, you know, as easy as possible. Things have to be made as easy as possible when it comes to the game design, in order for people to use these spots exactly as intended. Otherwise, you're just going to have people running back and forth like World of Warcraft, stuff like that. You know, just going to be running past. Like that's the one thing that I really think they need to focus on after they've got the basic design features down in all these other places.
It's like a lot of earthly materials like marble, wooden floors, you know. It feels like a habitation area to me.
Yeah, the rest of the landing zone, everything is a lot
That
more,
looks slick.
You know, sleek, high tech. And I think it's quite cool when you wake up in your bed and you can, you know, look out the window and you're at the top of the highest building in New Babbage. It's quite nice.
I think that's a kind of like a whole, the trademark of New Babbage is definitely that we're always putting you in a very, very high-tech interior.
I love that
view.
view.
As well,
that's nice.
Wild, and you're not going to get that full experience
beautiful.
if you're just locked inside and only feel the exterior when you actually go out there. I want you to feel that all the time.
I think that's one of the main things that we got right. The contrast between exterior and interior, but also not disconnected from the exteriors because we have so many windows.
Wow.
And,
that's impressive.
Glass domes. Quite happy with it.
Yeah, like we have a planet. We say, okay, what's a planet? And then we say, okay, for the landing zone, let's do the opposite of that. Like, you know, we're gonna have palm trees. We're gonna have the beach vibe. It's a very cool contrast to go for. Well, Fred, it's been very nice chatting to you about New Babbage.
Hey, it's been my pleasure.
Yes, it has.
Wow.
Bye, Fred.
Bye-bye.
That's just, oh man, loving that. Loving it.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that like the personal inner thought and personal inventory systems from last week, Building Blocks is freeing our designers up to experiment with new and innovative ways to interact with the universe around you. And that when New Babbage comes online in Alpha 3.9, Star citizens everywhere will have a new place to call home.
All right.
We'll be back in
I
about
cannot
a month
wait.
with more ISC, but until then, be sure to check out Star Citizen Live and Calling All Devs on Twitch and YouTube, respectively. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee.
All right, if you guys
Take
stuck
care,
around,
and be safe.
you're in for a treat. We're going to be talking about our space whales pool. I'm really excited to share the data that we have here. Let's get into that and let us get professional. Hello, everyone. Today, yes, you hear it? Yes. Yes? Okay, thank you very much. All right, yes, we're going to be talking whales today, space whales. It's caused quite a controversy in the Star Citizen community. So I wanted to ask people, like, how many of you guys dig space whales in the game and how many of you don't? It was an interesting question, and here we've got some of the results here. Let me move over to this side. And it looks like this is pretty amazing. 410 of you voted. Okay, that's a pretty good sized vote. It's not our best. I think our best was around 600, but it's a pretty decent sampling size for us and our community. But it looks like 78% of you are down for space whales. Okay. That was much higher than I anticipated. I am very split with space whales, and I'll tell you why. 22% were not okay with it. I wanted a yes or no answer. Thank you, Hammer. Thank you for that. Are we playing a drinking game? I think there's a drinking game going on with me, and I'm not quite sure what the word is to trigger the shot, but I if I knew that, you guys would be completely sloshed by now. That's all I would do. Anyhow, I want to talk about what I think right now, and then we'll look at what you guys think. Like I love to look at your guys' comments on the space whale controversy. I call it a controversy because to me, I think it's kind of relatively silly. It's a video game. It's got a space whale or two in it. I don't think it's something that is anything to get completely angry over. Like I'm seeing a lot of anger. I'm seeing a lot of anger out there with space whales, and it's like a little bit silly to me. I get it because people are feeling like, hey, maybe the game's going to jump the shark and get a little fantastical. And it's what I see as a split. Thank you, Killian. Thank you so much. I don't know what I'm saying, but I need to keep saying it. I see a split down the middle of people that are into the fantasy type gaming and people that are into the sci-fi type gaming. And to me, that's the division that I see. Simple as that. Like people are worried that putting space whales in the game might be a little bit too much of a fantasy type concept, and people that aren't into the fantasy type gaming, oh, boom, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for all the support. It is very, very needed. Thank you so much. So to me, that's really how I envision this right now. Like when I see this whole big controversy and I see people get really upset and say, hey, give me some realism. And then I see other people who are completely okay with it. I think it really has to do with the fact that you've got people that are into fantasy games and people that are hardcore realist sci-fi gamers that don't want that in the game. And I land in the category of I'm okay with it as long as it can be explained. Like as long as the lore team comes in and explains this, and we're not seeing space whales everywhere. I do not want these space whales to be in every system. Like, oh look, there's a pod of space whales. There's 15 space whales over here by Hurston. Oh look, now there's 10 whales over here. I don't want that, and I don't think they're planning that. So that's another thing I wanted to get out there because people are not expressing common sense game design, right? I don't think that this is going to be something that you're going to see everywhere. Now, this was really interesting when I look at this. This was the very introduction of the concept, this idea. Actually, it was in 2016 when people were talking about space whales, okay? Now, this was like in concept when they were drawing this. This is the day they started drawing the space whales, and this was an interesting portion of I think this was like a Star Citizen Live that they had, and they were talking about the introduction. Let me get my face out of here. And they're talking about the question being posed. The community brought up space whales. Like the community wanted space whales.
Bring in the questions we're reading. Is this a joke, or will there be space whales in game?
Oh, sorry. Hold on a second. I think I might have to refresh. Damn it. Hold on a second.
We are at 1 o'clock, by the way, Josh. So
Okay.
it's all in your time at this point.
Cool. I'm kind of just enjoying detailing this and kind of figuring out some shapes right now. So if we got a couple more questions or whatever you guys want to do, I'm cool with that for a couple minutes.
Yeah. Keep bringing the questions we're reading.
Here we go,
Is
guys.
this a joke, or will there be space whales in game
Thank you,
sometime?
Slump.
We are exploring the idea. It is not a confirmed thing. The lore team asked us to play around with it. It's a thing that we have talked about for some time. Chris, if you look back at a Jump Point magazine from like a year ago, or maybe even a year and a half ago, there was an internal memo included in a Jump Point magazine where Chris said we're looking at the possibility of having space whales. It is something that we have discussed for.
So that was the initiation, like the very concept being drawn out there. Slump Dog, thank you so much for that donation, dude. He says, why couldn't space whales be a thing? We don't know what isn't real until it's false. Cars were not realistic years ago. Microsoft equal Microtech HoloLens. So he's talking about the fact that space is so vast and we don't know it. And I think the argument that's opposed to Slump is like the science of it. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the science of it, right? I mean, you actually, this is a great segue, Slump, into something called a tardigrade, or I might be pronouncing that incorrectly, but these things actually can live in a vacuum. Here's what they look like up close. And they definitely have like an exoskeleton, and these things are really tiny. These things are very old, found here in amber, and I think over 500,000 years ago, and they can handle the vacuum of space. In fact, a really interesting article here, or a piece down here on the Wikipedia page, says that let me see if I can find it. They did a study on these things called tardigrades. Here we go. Survival after exposure to outer space. And this particular part was interesting. It says tardigrades are the first known animal to survive after exposure to outer space. In September 2007, dehydrated tardigrades were taken into low Earth orbit, carrying biopan astrobiology payload. For 10 days, groups of tardigrades, some of them previously dehydrated, some of them not, were exposed to the hard vacuum of outer space, radiation, blah, blah, blah. 68% of the subjects protected from solar UV radiation were reanimated within 30 minutes following rehydration. So essentially what it's saying is that they survived, that these things could survive actually outer space. So there's a life form out there that can actually survive outer space right now. Now, are these whales capable of doing this? I mean, like, how serious do we want to get? And this is where the argument starts to break down, because then people will argue against the tardigrade comments that you're seeing on Reddit. And I think people are they want something backing up these space whales. We know that the origin point of space whales came from people, and we know that a lot of people are into the fantasy. You looked at the poll, right? You guys saw the poll. Like 78% of people were in favor of space whales. And so, like, I think the people that are arguing the loudest against this, and they have a right to, are people that are realists that are saying, hey, show me the science. I want to see the science. And then people show the tardigrade argument as like a counter argument to that. And they say, okay, tardigrades, great, but space whales. And I would say this. First off, it's a game. Relax and take a breath. I don't think they're jumping the shark here by putting a space whale in there. I think this is kind of, to me, one of those very funny moments in gaming history where if you see a space whale in there, whether you like them or not, you can be like, oh yeah, space whales. Like, you know, but I'm curious what you guys said in the comments. So I'm going to read a couple of the comments in the chat right now. Let's read some of the comments here. Mark says, it's funny, everyone asking for aliens and wildlife, and now they add the wildlife and combine it with additional gameplay, and people go bonkers. I think people want to see more planet-side life, though, Mark. In all fairness, though, Mark, I think what people want to see is actually more planet-side life. Now, if these whales have some type of lore behind them, some type of science that we can somewhat believe, where they're living in, like, gas giants, right? Or they can come out and they're cruising around cosmic gas, something of that nature that sustains them, or a reason for these things to exist. I think that'll give a little bit more credence to the realists out there that are looking for that kind of like anti-fantasy that these space whales pose. So I think that's what we're seeing. Slump Dog says, we were once all in the seal. The whole earth was just an ocean millions of years ago after the volcanic crazy period. So it is something that I find interesting. People are getting very emotional about these space whales. Like, to me, and like, I just want to tell everybody, like, what, like, just to make sure you guys understand this is a video game. But it's very important to us because a lot of us have put money towards this and we want the game that we want. So like, some people that are having issues with this are not really into the fantasy aspect of gaming. And I think that's what's not really being talked about here. Like, I've seen a couple other people talk about space whales, but nobody really gets into the meat of the argument, which is like, you have fantasy gamers and then you have realist sci-fi survival kind of gamers. And when you bring about space whales that was brought into existence from the minds of the fans, and it gets inserted, and then they draw it out, it's not flushed out yet, it's not concrete, and then boom, now it is, and the confirmation's there with no other explanation behind it. I think that's what's getting people on edge about space whales. Boba says, if Bigfoot can exist, why can't space whales? Chris says, I want to mine space whales. So yeah, space whale ships getting swallowed by space whales. There's a whole lot of scenarios I can imagine here. But I want you guys to all take a breath first off, okay? Let's just take a breath. because it's not worth getting this upset about. If you guys absolutely hate space whales and you see a space whale in a game, think of it like Roger Wilco. I don't know if you guys are that old, as old as I, but like if you guys understand the old Roger Wilco space series, that was kind of like a very kind of comic view of space. You can look at the space whale and you can point to it and you can be like, okay, that's a Roger Wilco moment. But this is here. I'm going to show you what they've got in designs here for the space whales right now. There's 3 different versions that they're going with. Now, I don't know if they're wanting us to pick 3, or I don't know if this is like the 3 different species of space whale that they're going to have, but I wanted to show you guys what is on the drawing board. I think the artist did a good job of it. I would like to see more of a skin that is like an armor skin. I don't think that like this looks like a fleshy skin. So, you know, in terms of realism, I would personally like to see a little bit more like you can see like armor maybe on the bottom, but most of this thing looks fleshy, especially with the tendrils. You can see how big this space whale is, the cutlass. So it's quite a few cutlasses long. It looks to be about 4 or 5 cutlasses in length. So let's look at these whales here. Here's the first whale. The second whale is off the hook. Like the second whale, I like the low. Wow. Okay. So, and there's the third whale. So quite different looks. I don't know. What do you guys like? 1, 2, or 3? Some of you guys are going to say none. Boba says, call me Ishmael. What's up, Tech? Tech says, if they make them ugly as hell, they will be more believable. Right, Tech? Completely, dude. I think you scored 100% on that response right there, buddy. Patrick says, I want land sharks. Snowfox says, can you eat the space whales? And will it taste better than sandworms? Talk about space whale oil, you know, like maybe these things will be sought after, but I don't think you're going to see these guys over here. I don't think you're going to see these guys flying all over the place, you know, through the vacuums of space. I think this is going to be a very rare occurrence to see one of these things. In fact, I'd love them to be so rare that it would be like Bigfoot sightings. I think everybody's getting upset over nothing. Because I think in the end, what they're going to do is they're going to put some lore and some science behind it. It's going to be a little bit more believable. I hope they do another draft or 2 of the space whale and have a little bit more armor plating or something so that I can believe it a little bit more. I still think the fleshy kind of thing isn't working for me in vacuum of space. But anyhow, I think what you'll see is you'll very rarely see this. In fact, the sightings of these things are going to be so rare that like people will want to film these things. It reminds me of Elite Dangerous when they first introduced the alien species. And and you got the sighting. I want it to always be that rare. I want it to always be that kind of rare. Like, oh wow, look, there's a space whale. I can't believe I actually saw one. That type of a thing. If they do something like that, then I'll be a little bit better. then I'll feel a little bit better about space whales. But I just wanted to go over some of the comments here that we have here. Hammer says, I like to think of it as a humorous nod. Yes, exactly, dude. Exactly, Hammer. Scott says, I'm glad it's in. These spaces are feeling rather empty. Coming across a space whale might help to make things feel more alive. So yeah, like, you know, if they're very rare and you come across one of these things, it'll be like, whoa. Next concept ship, Space Whaler. It said. Enoch says, space whalers are awesome. Roger says, I think a biomechanical or sentient ship as a Leviathan vessel in Farscape is a nice idea. Yeah, you could add gameplay because of this. I get people who say it's too fantasy. Exactly. J-Dubs gets the argument here because I don't see too much people talking about this in essence, like the style of game that you like. But it's fun. Plus, every alien race is fantasy. Might as well say no to the Tavaran or Banu. It's also a great shout out to those of us who help fund the game. And whaling. For my fellow Star Citizens, here's a concept that might help you with who says that an alien being, maybe? I'm not quite sure what he's saying there. Vegna says, I like it. It makes the universe all that more mysterious. Just think flying through a nebula and all of a sudden this massive alien whale comes out of the gas closet. It would be kind of... Yeah, like oh man, it goes back to like how I'm very split about this. Like, I hope it's real enough to where I'm like, okay, blown away by this thing. You know, if I'm blown away by this thing and it's like rarely seen, this thing comes out of the clouds, like Vegna says, then I might be like, okay, all right, I'm appreciating the art. What's up, Native Fry? Native Fry says, yo, DG, just seen you had a live stream. Well, welcome to the stream, bro. Welcome, man. Glad to have you here. I'm all right in the chat says, I hope they are vicious as hell. Oh, I'm all right. Wants mean whales in the game. Oh, he just stepped it up a notch. You just stepped it right up there. Oh, and then Hammer says maybe we should have the SRVs do the harpooning. That would be fun. Killian in chat says heard it, but the first episode started with so many physics. Oh, okay, that's something completely different. All right. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Fett says, I could do without these. I don't really mind space creatures of the fantastic kind, but I wouldn't want them, but I want them well thought out. Yes, perhaps before we got confirmation of space whales, they should have told us a little bit more on the last episode of Inside Star Citizen, or had a link to the lore of these space whales. I think that'd have been a much smarter idea. This reminds me of the bobblehead incident in terms of how they're introducing this. There needs to be more information passed along with the space whales. They need to be like, okay, these are space whales. Here's the lore. People are going to be super critical about this. I mean, I don't know how people over at Cloud Imperium wouldn't have thought that people were going to be super critical of this when this thing came out. There should have been a lot more lore in terms of, other than like, here's space whales, everybody. Here you go. Oh my God. All right. Hato, what's going on? Hato says the reason to the fact that I like this is because I would like to see more life in Star Citizen. Yeah. So that seems to be an argument. That I see a lot is people are saying, hey, we don't have anything right now. Then I'm happy with space whales. But here's something else. Why don't we start focusing on putting life on planets? Before we go to that great big leap of space whales. You know what I'm saying? Again, take a breath. This is all just, I think, in jest and in fun. It is confirmed, but, I just look at this as something that could be rather silly as well. It's a video game. This is what happens when you troll Jared too much. That's funny. Django, what's going on? That's my friend Jiro. I only like the idea of them if there is a good and scientific explanation for why and how they exist. Now this, man, I'm giving you a thumbs up and a heart. I completely agree with that. Somebody replied, exactly, says Fetz. Yes. Now see, I'm down with that. That is a very rational way to put things. Thank you. Solara, how you doing, hun? Solara says, I want every scenario from every sci-fi film. She wants that unlimited experience. You got to heart the unlimited experience. You got to heart that. Thank you, Hammer. Thank you, bro. Thank you so much for all your support. Everybody who's donated. Oh, we're saying take a shot. Oh, my goodness. Our audience is getting sloshed right now, by the way, everybody. If you're not here live, you're missing the great drink off of 2020. Everybody's at home because of Corona, and they're not even affected right now. They're sitting at home taking shots, watching the show right now. This is the great shot off of 2020. Disky says, people seem to be getting frustrated or angry about the idea. It makes the game more fantasy and less sci-fi. Yes, right? But that's completely untrue, says Disky. Okay, well now he grabbed my interest. He says, it's just another alien organism in an alien environment. So what's the problem? And it's not as if this is a new concept. It's been done plenty of times before. I think that it's the fact that they're in space, Disky. I think it's a little bit more than that. I like that you're taking the easy approach. I like that you're taking the sit back and relax approach. I admire that. It's a video game after all. But on the other hand, I have to say that I think I would take it up just a notch, and I would say, people are arguing it being in space. And, like I showed you guys the tardigrade at the very beginning of this, we do see confirmation of a species living in vacuum. We just need the science and the lore behind these space whales, period. Cap, what's going on, Cap? I saw him on stream earlier here. I think it's a fun part of the game, something that may encourage exploring or travel, as in the real world, most people would have to travel to be in the presence of a whale. I think it should be the same in SC. Can you imagine paying for a trip aboard a Phoenix now that's cool. That would be cool, but see, that would mean that there would be a lot of space whales out there, and I'm not necessarily down with that, but I like what Captain did here. Captain Carrot is inventing gameplay. He's creating that content. He's creating, as what we call here in this community, that VAG, that hashtag VAG, that value added gameplay. I like what he's doing there. Jonathan says, also out of the 100 plus planned Star Citizens, I'm sure there will be some that are straightforward and strictly space sim. I don't even know. I don't know like how they're planning about going about that. That to me would be like a little bit over the top, like where they're planning like certain systems are going to be more fantasy and certain systems are going to be more realistic. I think if we get to that level of categorization, Jonathan, I think then we've jumped the shark. I think then we kind of like think about, okay, now this system's going to be fantasy. This system's going to be sci-fi. I don't know what you guys think about that. I'm not quite sure. That's my take on it. Let's see. Slump says aliens are fake. This is in our live chat right now. Slump says aliens are fake, so let's remove them. Let's remove the sandworms too. Wow. He's just like, get all of it out of there. K-Bomb says, I take the Dr. Was that Ian or Ian? Malcolm view from Jurassic Park. Life finds a way. If there is a medium, life will find a way to exist there. I like that. That's cool, man. All right. Shane says there are plenty of sci-fi books that explore creatures in space. Space be crazy. No reason some creatures couldn't evolve on a light gravity, be able to traverse. Thank you, Killian. Thank you, guys. Wow. The guys at this point are feeling mighty good right now. Like I'm telling you. Oh, he's starting on beer. Killian's starting on beer right now. He says, blah, 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 blah. Part of me can't help but believe that team members working on storage wheels could it be takes with something. I don't know. You're okay, Shane. What do you? But Sig knows better than I admit what resources they have for what parts of the project. Most likely, this is just being done with small pieces of time between other larger tasks. I don't know. Then we get into that debate. I think Shane just opened up a can of worms with that comment because some people are saying, hey, why are we bothering on Space Wheels and not moving on to something different? And if in fact Space Wheels was, pretty much an hour-long episode that we saw there in 2017 where they drew it, then like how much thought and design really went into Space Wheels other than seeing people talk about wanting Space Wheels and then just drawing it and saying, there's your Space Wheel. So that's a whole nother can of worms. That's I've seen that out there as well. And if you take it from that angle, then yes, I could understand the realist's argument on that. Kevin Scale says they should be super rare. Yes, absolutely. To make exploration actually interesting, there should be lots of super rare things to find. 100%. Absolutely agree, Kevin. Yes, this should be something that you're not going to see once every, month or two. This should be something you see like once a year if you're lucky. That's exactly what I think as well. Allie, we have bird persons and wormholes. Of course I want space whales. Huh? Just got a point there. Dex 610 says it doesn't seem to fit with the direction that SE has been going. Just my opinion. I'm hoping they come up with a clever way to implement. Yes. Damon Chazanik. I think that's I think he's Czechoslovakian. Chazanik. DG, watch the short film Leviathan on here. If that doesn't get you excited, then you're dead inside. Star Citizen is epic and deserves epic monsters and gameplay. All right. All right. Definitely you can tell Damon is in the fantasy kind of gaming. And that, again, is the split that I see. The people that are into fantasy gaming and the people that are more realists and into the science of the sci-fi experience. And they tend to like survivor-based games as well. I'm getting both sides of this argument. I think what people really need to do is just take a breath and relax a little bit and realize that the lore will be incoming. I'm pretty sure they're going to make this a rare thing. And everybody just needs to calm down just a little bit on the whole discussion. It really is like a firestorm. I really didn't think this Space Wheels would cause this big of a firestorm, but it does. People are, people are either very opposed to this or just like, hey, hell no. Have you ever hit a space wheel at warp speed? It makes a hell of a I love reading your guys' comments. Thank you for participating, by the way. It is very fun reading your guys' comments. Speakeasy's in chat right now. He says, anything that will bring life to the verse, I say. All right. Slump! You beautiful, beautiful person. You. Thank you so much. Slump says, Sig should have kept their mouth closed and put the whale in for us explorers to find. Now, see, excuse me. I think I'm getting corona, for God's sake. So many people sick around me. God. Slump, I agree with you, dude. SIG should have kept their mouth closed, put the whale in as a surprise, like an Easter egg, so that when people see it, it would be a big deal. You know what, dude? Absolutely. Also, what about a space kraken? He says, we have a kraken. No, just teasing. It's a ship. See what I did there? Sorry, Slump. Uh-oh, people are moving on to whiskey in the chat right now. It's getting crazy in the chat. People are moving on to the strong stuff right now. Coov, what's going on, Coov? If we had all other things they push back and postpone, then I would say yes, by all means, give us wheels. But since we are lacking dozens of mechanics, and see, yes, this is another thing, but I don't honestly think they put much time and resources into this, Coov. Like, I really don't think they put a lot of time and resources into the space wheels. I think this was like an afterthought. I think that what you saw there in this happy hour game time here, where they literally, Josh, by the way, who is gone now, one of my favorite artists, is now gone, does not work for Cloud Imperium anymore. And he took like a lump. Like, if you look at this is what he started with. So I give props to the artists. Look at what Josh started with here. And by the end, this is what he made. Like, that in itself deserves a golf clap. That in itself deserves a golf clap. I want to see the whale have like a tough, thick armor. And it looked like Josh was going for that. If you look at the whales here, you can see the change in the design of the art, like where they really changed. Let's look at that again. If you look at this whale and you look at what he drew here, there's a pretty big change in design. It's like they scrapped Josh's idea. I personally liked this, maybe with not so many fins, but I like the rougher kind of armor or hide look of this whale, rather than the kind of fleshy jellyfish thing going on here with this whale. I just think it's a little bit more like the tardigrade that we saw here has like an armory outside. That's exactly how it survives in a vacuum. It's all soft and gooey inside with a hard shell on the outside. That's like more sciencey to me than anything else. And this whale looks a hell of a lot more able to handle space than this whale. Like, this whale looks like it should just implode to me. Like, like just jelly. You know, like put it out in space, it's like just completely folds up. So anyhow, let's get back to the comments here. Let's read the live chat and see what you guys are talking about in here. Yeah. Let's see here. If people complain about the whale, then Sig can say it's already in the game. Oh, so yeah, talking about Slump's idea about how this should just have appeared and not been talked about and just like been a rare occurrence. Totally agree with Slump. People in the chat look like they're agreeing with him as well. I think Space Whales was created by a developer with the spare time. Actually who it was created by was in 2016, it was mentioned from fans. Like, fans actually said, hey, we want Space Whales. So it was kind of a joke to start out with. And then this video here that you see here, Slump, was the result. Like, Cloud Imperium said, okay, well, it's the people are wanting the Space Whales. Let's start drawing it. I love the faces here from the designers. Like, this is a great shot. That is so good. Purple Whale likes Hammer says Purple Whale looks like it would stick to a wall. Oh shoot. Yeah, Josh is gone. He's working for another company, at least last I checked, that was like a school that taught art. But yeah, he might have gotten another job since, but he was working for a very popular company out in California that helped video artists out in California. And he might have landed a job like K-Bomb saying he got his dream job with Sony Entertainment. I always thought Josh was a really cool dude. Josh was a wonderful artist, in my opinion. Anyway, let's read some more comments here, and we'll wrap things up. Hey, DG, Timeout 420 says, hey, DG, it's always great to expand on the horizons and possibilities of our dream game. Although it should be said that at times I feel like it's just that, a dream. To come or not, to come is only answered by time. It's very, very poetic. I like that, Timeout. I like that, dude. You keep bringing us that mind candy, dude. I'm digging the the poetry that you're putting down, man. Nipes, a space whale concept is so cool, and I'm waiting for life in the game other than humans. Everything feels so empty without animals. And that goes back to what we were talking about. Like maybe some land animals, some fauna, you know, talking about like a little bit more of those things that we need to see. Especially on Microtech, I want to see like a Hoth type creature. Crixzillo, sorry, but it's just plain ridiculous. They are shaped for liquid environments. They have fins in space, highly puzzling. So he wants to see like a little bit different of a design, which I wouldn't disagree with Crix at all. What's up, FHG? Good to see you, Field Hood. Those wheels are magical. What's next? A mana pool for our characters? Oh, snap. That, like, see? You see what he did there? He's saying it's too much fantasy. Gotta respond with an oh, snap. Tech, my friend, Tech. It says, open a space casino. Comp them dinner in a nice room, then milk them. Oh, my goodness. Can you imagine what space whale milk would go for on the market? Maybe we should start milking these whales, yo. And then we can sell the space milk. I like it. I like where you're going with that. Always industrious. Always the trader, Tech. I'm digging that. Daniel Sousa, first baseman for the New York Yankees back in 1987. Hey, TG. Hope you and the fam are staying safe. Yes, man. Thank you. We're fighting all different types of wonderful illnesses at the moment. I like the concept of space whales, to be honest, and the potential gameplay associated with them. Having rare materials on them we can source. They will surely add life to the universe, says Daniel. Furthermore, I like the fact that SIG is keeping their promise in developing a fan concept and putting it in the game. Okay, what about that, audience? What do we think about that? Look at the poll. 78% of people wanted space whales, like Daniel's saying. They come in, they say, there's your space whale. They draw it out, they flush it out, they put it in the game. Some of us might not like the art of it, but there it is. And they delivered on the promise of the space whales. It was the fans that wanted the space whales. 78% of people playing Star Citizen wanted it, at least in our sample, which was fairly good size. 400 plus votes. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at. And 78% of people wanted space whales. That's, you know, I see what Daniel's saying. All right, Daniel. Hope to see your comments on the next vid, dude. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Let's see here. Cooler Pure says, can never turn down more content. Plus, if they give us the cloudy space environment where the whales swim, it would be so cool to harvest ores and you have like a space whale in the background. I don't know if I want him that out in space, cool, but I get you, dude. I get you. He's in it for the love of the space whale. Jonathan Thomas says, I think it's super cool. We're getting space whales. Think about how cool, how could we not have them when we do have sandworms? The space whale being compared to the sandworm, there's a lot of people saying, you know, this is another sandworm type thing. So, you know, who knows? Maybe sandworms will be just as rare as space whales. Philip says, Philip Nunya, everyone has their own thing. They like SC4, but Star Wars, Star Trek, Space Whales is not one of them for me. I want SC to be fun, but also more realistic science fiction. There we go again. That delineation between fantasy gamer versus like that more realist sci-fi kind of gamer. Space Whales breaks the suspension of disbelief for me. Also, why? What's the point? How does it make any sense? And I would answer that as thus, Philip. I would say that you have the 78% of people who want it in the game. It's as simple as that. And Cloud Imperium listened and they put it in. I think it is totally possible, however unlikely, to have a large spacefaring creature. Oh, there we got our tardigrade. Somebody else knows about the tardigrade. Oh, this is all happening to April. This is all happening close to April Fool's Day. Perhaps it is, but no, I don't think it is. I think Space Whales or Space Whale is in the game. Snow Fox, who's live in our chat right now. Snow Fox, what's going on, buddy? He says Space Whales in space. It's like pigs in space, I think is what he's doing there. I hope it's going on a planet somewhere and not in space, since they were always talking about how they want to be more realistic and less fantasy. Wow. We also talked about that earlier. Maybe these space wheels originate from like gas giants. Imagine a giant space whale floating through Crusader. That would be cool. Now, see, I'd be a little bit more game for that. But considering that they're called space whales, I think these things will in fact be in space. But I'd rather see these types of whales live on gas giants like Crusader. Imagine once they put the orbital station on Crusader and it's like right next to them clouds, and then you see like this whale going in and out of that. Now that would be tasty. I don't think anybody would disagree about that. Now see, that's something where I would see something like this, not this one. Hold on. I can see this sucker. I can see this. Wait, hold on. I can see that one right there flying through Crusader right now, sucking up that Crusader gas, all delicious. Like, it's like, la, 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 and you're like, there she blows. Now that I feel like I would be much more into something of that nature. So yes, I get you, dude. I get you. But these, I think, will be in the cold, hard vacuum of space. Chris says gas whales. Yes, please. That's what I'm talking about. Gas wells. Thank you, Snow Fox. What do you continue? What does he say after that? They were always talking about how they want this to be a more realistic and less fantasy. If they keep going, the space whales will shoot back with laser eyes like they do in Stellaris, and we'll have to team up with sexy space elves. It's all downhill from here. That's great. That's great, Fox. Mr. Dashin says, why not? Space is infinite with infinite possibilities. Plus, sir, a pod of space whales are on a collision course with us. I hope that... Okay, that got me, dude. I hope it's not that. I hope there's just not a pod of whales, dude. That's funny, dude. I thought it was supposed to be somewhat realistic, says C. You got some people that are very upset. In fact, in our Discord today, I saw Invisible and Fetson just going apeshit ballistic about space whales. I want solid, concrete, scientific proof. I want it explained down to the nano part. And then poor Hormagaz was in there saying, hey guys, you know, maybe space whales aren't that bad. They're terrible. That's exactly the conversation I saw in Discord today. I was like, I felt so bad for Hormagaz. All he wanted is like for people to be open-minded and listen. And like Invisible and Fets were just pummeling poor Hormagaz in the Discord. It was ridiculous. Sometimes when I see the chat, I just want to be like, Invisible, Fets, guys, take a breath. Horm's just trying to get you to be a little bit more open-minded. And then Invisible will come in and be like, I don't want to be open-minded. It's like, whoa, man. I tell you guys to get outside, but you can't do that right now. Like, you can't do it right now. Collie Doo. That's a great name. Can you get a crime statistic for gunning down an endangered space whale? Yes, that is confirmed from me. You can, in fact, get crime stat. Geek Hippie says people will unfortunately hunt them down and kill them just for the loss, then post a video of it. And you're probably right, Geek. You're probably right, dude. But I think if they make them rare enough, it's going to be such a rare occurrence that when they do find them, people are just going to be kind of like in wonderment, like, ooh. Killian, and then shoot it. Killian says, I'm very much looking, by the way, Killian's in the chat. Killian's here live right now. I'm very much looking forward to all sorts of fauna in the game. However, I find space whales nowadays are a kind of washed out concept. For me, they will be creatures that would demystify space because of their size and obviousness. I'd like creatures in space sometimes, but A, planets come definitely first, and B, SIGs needs to do better than simply putting something big in space and calling it a space whale. And I think the reason you think this, Killian, as well, has to do definitely with the fact that this was a fan-created concept from the minds of fans that were just kind of willy-nilly wanting to put space whales in there to start out with as a joke. Some people thought it was cool, and then they just drew it in that one episode, that happy hour game time that you saw. Thank you, Slump Dog, putting down some serious cash. Thank you, dude. I appreciate it. And then he continues by saying it would need more myth and a supernatural, almost spooky touch to it to match the vastness of space. I agree with that, dude. I agree with that totally. Thank you, Slump. Slump says, has CR ever called it realistic though? No. You know, this definitely was like a fan-driven thing. CR calls it a living, breathing universe. Whales could eat gas clouds to live. Final money drop. He's slamming the mic down. He's like, mic drop. Chris says, let's vote for sexy space elves. Dude, Chris, I think you got something right there. That might be our next vote. Kevin says, by the way, welcome to the stream, Kevin. Kevin says, they had space whales in Star Trek. That's realistic enough for me. Did they? I don't remember that episode. I'll have to look that up. Let's see here. Viz and Fetson really need their own room. I've told them that. Killian, that's so funny you said that. I told them, I'm like, if they keep on at the rate that they do, like, I'm just going to make a Viz and Invisible and Fetson room. It's so overwhelming sometimes to watch those two talk. I love them dearly, but Jesus. Thank you, Anarchy. Thank you so much. Look at those stickers in chat. That's kind of cool. What is that, Anarchy? Is that a pear? What is that? Snowfox says, do you think there will be a space whale crossing? Okay, you're killing me. Earth whales, bro. Oh my goodness, you guys are cracking me up tonight. This is great. I'm so happy. I'm so happy to be here. It's been too long. I'll try not make the next stream so far apart. Thank you everybody for showing up here. All right, Killian gets a heart for that. Tran says, I'm glad they're in because ever since that game dev, we have been wanting animals, not just player or NPC, to look around. So he has the argument about, you know, hey, we want something a little bit more. Personally, I would rather of them focus on planets. But like I said, I don't think a lot of time was really put into this. Killian, dang. Anarchy and Killian throwing down too. You guys must be feeling really good right now. You guys are supposed to be doing shots, by the way, every time we see donations. So I know that many of you out there are starting to see like 3 of me. I'm the one in the middle. And I know the words right now that are coming out of my mouth are probably sound pretty good right now. So I'm going to talk in a lower tone. I'm going to start doing some ASMR. No. Anarchy Burger with that secret sauce. Anarchy says, imagine your ship, your cootie getting swallowed up by a space whale. Yeah, man, that cutty's gonna definitely get swallowed up. Could you imagine though? That would be a cool concept. Like to be swallowed like Jonah in the space whale. You can make a whole movie. Like that sounds like some video content I need to make. The Jonah in the space whale. Let's go for a hunting party, says Frapp. Rich says, I'm glad and I trust the team to make it work. Star Citizen will be more Star Warsy with them, says Dark Pit. Some people are saying that. Some people are saying, hey, if we put space whales in the game, it's going too Star Warsy for me. And it's steering away from the genre that they like. Anarchy in chat saying that the whale that we saw earlier looks like a blue turd. Let's look at this again. It's getting crazy up in the chat. Hammer saying, I don't understand the words coming out of my mouth. I don't understand the words coming out of my mouth. Hammer. What's up, Wind? Good to see you, man. Welcome to the stream, buddy. All right, so we're gonna keep going on here. Let's read some more of these comments. This is very fun. I'm having a good time with you guys. Grant Hutch, what's going on, Hutch? I think it'll make a space a bit more interesting, gives people their chance to get their Ahab in space on. Yes. Total Moby Dick. This may be the origination of space whales in itself, Moby Dick. Pepic Walrus says, people seem to be forgetting we are getting at least one space creature already besides space whales, so it's not far-fetched. Look into the Hades Systems wiki and read about the Hades cryptid known under a few names like oh, no. It's Hadesians. We actually did that. We did that piece. Yeah, so Pepic says, hey, there's already another alien species out there that can live in a cool vacuum. And you know what? Very good on Pepic. If you look on the channel and you type in Hadesians, it's Hadesians. It's an alien species that went extinct 300,000 years ago. And we believe that they killed themselves off. So very good on you for knowing your lore, Pepic. I am actually very happy that there's somebody else out there versed in the Star Citizen lore. That's awesome. Eagle 6 Airsoft says, peeps need to understand it's a game, not a flight simulator. It's similar to popular Monster Hunter games. Find it, kill it, and break parts of it off for crafting. I'm all for it, but at this point, I would just like any NPC animals to kill. They could have started with a deer, for God's sake, says Eagle. Right. Yes. And like Slump Dog said earlier, you know, they could have kept the space wheels hush hush and made it an Easter egg for us to find. Absolutely, Eagle. Absolutely. And 209 says, call me Ishmael. Mac, what's going on? Mac says, I don't care either way. See, Mac's really easygoing. I think some people care because they're feeling like Space Wheels might make this game jump the shark, meaning this game's gone super silly mode with Space Wheels. I think that's what people are worried about the most. And they don't want the game to like continue with the road of Space Wheels. And I don't think we'll see that too much more. I don't think we're going to see like ultra fantasy explosion continue from this point on. So that's something to think about. You know, again, Roger Wilco moments, and you can point at it and you can laugh whether you like it or not. And I like Mac's attitude because honestly, I don't think this is a huge deal. I think they'll support this with lore. They'll get the science that we're needing, and they'll make these so rare that, hey, it's not going to be a big deal. You're going to see one every year. You're going to see one a year. And when you see him, everybody's going to be like, oh my God, look at this dude's video. He found a space wheel. And I hope to God that's me. Should be me. Windlord says space deer. Fox says that's some good meat. K-Bomb says, in a game where we have bipedal aliens that speak English and spaceships that all have artificial gravity and a world where you can have your ship blow up with you in it and still wake up somewhere, to complain about Space Wheels as being unrealistic seems dumb AF. I'm cool with Space Wheels. K-Bomb putting it down. Azure, what's up, Az? Says, honestly, these little side jobs annoy me more than they impress me. They are still so missing many. There are still so many missing things. Even the cloud tech would impress me more. Although I'm pretty over the weight of this game. Az is like, come on already. Don't add space whales. Just give me the meat. Give me the mechanics. Give me the things that I want to make this game complete already, not the space whale sidetrack. But again, like I said, this did not take them very much time. This took them like an hour. We saw Josh draw, put it down. They probably came in with another artist after the fact because they didn't want Josh coming back and saying, hey, I drew that. So they probably had somebody else come in, redesign the space whale, put it down, and they wanted it as like a special cherry on the top of a, I don't know, sundae. Like, here you go. And they should have put more lore with it. And if they didn't do it at all, it'd have been better because they could have snuck it in as an Easter egg and we could have been like, oh my God, could you imagine if they did this as an Easter egg and we didn't know this was happening and somebody discovered it in the game like Slump had mentioned? People, I don't think, would have the reaction that they are right now. It'd be a totally different reaction. They'd be like, wait, what was that? And then that's it. You don't hear anything about it for another year or two. And people would be like, okay, I think people would be a little bit more accommodative to that kind of implementation of a space whale. Windlord says, Santa's reindeer come from space. I want Santa as a mission giver. That will be in 4.1. That will be in 4.1. All right. So Invisible, okay, this is what Invisible was saying here, and I like that Invisible shortened up his comments because Invisible, he knows better. He knows that if his comments get too long, I will not read them. Invisible can write a book, and his wife, who's in chat, will agree with me. She knows more than anybody else the lengths to which Invisible will go to prove a point. Volumes and volumes. Now, I like these shorter comments from Invisible. I will read this, Invisible. I signed up for a Halo Mass Effect, Firefly, Captain Harlock. By the way, Captain Harlock, awesome. Love freaking Captain Harlock. Great anime. Cowboy Bebop, Blade Runner. Who doesn't love Cowboy Bebop? Blade Runner, Alien Universe, where everything has some grounding in physics and reality. Cold, hard reality. This crosses the fantasy line for me. Not that maybe these things might exist out there, but to my current understanding of space, they could not. This is too far a lean into Space Dandy, Stargate, Farscape, Stellaris. So yes, there is that division. Yes. There is that division that we were talking about earlier. And last comment, drum roll, please. Import Trace. That is so good, dude. Great name. Why I voted yes? We simply need something else than humans in the game. Boom. I feel like that was a punchline to a joke. That was wonderful. Thank you, everybody, for being part of our special additional bonus content at the end of our Inside Star Citizen review. I will, of course, post this as a separate video. This will be in the Inside Star Citizen review video. Also, I will make it its own video. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Thank you so much. Don't forget to push the like button if you had a good time here tonight. Push that like button. I'm seeing the likes are pretty low on this. It's kind of making me a little nervous. Like, I've been seeing a drop in views overall, and like I'm getting a little nervous. I'm like, oh, do you guys not like it? If you guys do like it, let me know. Keep the likes going. Keep the shares going. If you guys are down for the series and you want more people to come to the shows, this is something you guys got to keep sharing and liking. It's the only way we're going to get more people to these. We had over 35 people tonight. Not bad. Not the greatest, but not bad. And I'm hoping to see that we're going to have more people on the next one when it comes back 3 weeks from now. Don't worry. I'll be posting content again like crazy next week. It's been really hectic. People have been sick here. Thanks, everybody. A giveaway video will be coming. I'm hoping Saturday, if not next week. And then next week, we'll be getting regular streams and content. Once again, hopefully everybody gets better by then. And I had a good time. Chris says, no, don't go. I'm sorry, I do have to go. My kids are in the house and they're actually, they're yelling at me right now. So I do need to go, but thank you so much for wanting me to stay. I love you guys. Stay safe out there. Please stay safe. Don't go outside right now unless you absolutely have to. Let this stuff blow over. We're all going to be okay. It's not the end of the world. And thank you, everybody. I will see you on the next vid or stream. And when you see these land, don't forget to comment out there. Don't forget to like. Thank you so much, everybody. See you later. Have a good night. Today's video has been brought to you by the generous patrons of DG360 who make continued content possible. DG360 patrons enjoy monthly giveaways like Star Citizen packages, Steam gift cards, and any game that you want giveaways. Please consider donating $1 if in any way you enjoy DG360 content. And these difficult times where independent content creation is under attack from the FTC and left to die by YouTube, it's nice to know that I'm appreciated. Thank you.